Hello, I'm Tommy Moore from the Bartitsu Lab, and in this video I'm going to be looking at attacking the body. Now, as you might know, my big interest area is in boxing for self-defense or bare knuckle boxing, also known as pugilism. Now, you'll note that attacking the body often doesn't have the same rewards and dividends as striking the jaw. Can you imagine boxing for self-defense? If I can chin you with a shot up here, I can shake your brain and knock you out, and your time as a threat is over. So it makes a lot of sense to put a lot of your training into what will turn that jaw, shake that head violently, and send that person to sleep. But there are many, many benefits for hitting the body even outside of a sporting context. And without going too much into Asian bullshit atemiwaza, there are parts of your body which are well worth your time knowing where they are and how to best access them. And in this video I'm just going to talk about some of my favourite techniques for accessing some of the weaker parts of the human body without needing a strategic 4-year study into acupuncture to find out where they are. Bear in mind, bare knuckle, which is what you'll have for self-defense, it's a much more precision tool than using a glove. So it's more forgiving with a glove for you to be slightly less accurate because you've still got a large surface area here. So it will forgive you using a glove. Often bare knuckle, it hits or it does not hit. It's pretty binary, to be honest. You know, it's just got little weapons on your hands, little knuckles. You know, you need to be relatively precise with these, or more precise than you would with a larger glove. So I'm going to go through some of my favourite shots. Now, one of my favourite shots is striking underneath the heart. So punching someone directly underneath their heart, so on their left-hand side, just below here, banging a shot here. One of my favourite shots to do that is a low horizontal cross. So taking a slip out and firing this under. So I've got the row of my knuckles driving pretty solidly under the pectoral. So I like this kind of parallel to the ground shot. So a short, sharp cross. And make sure when you're firing these in that you're getting decent knuckle penetration. You know, you can't just tap it like you would with a glove. You need some degree of penetration. So for me, having that parallel or slightly raised elbow, driving this solidly underneath the heart, and the diagonal step at the same time, from here, really does the business. So I like this ability to drop it in. I find if I extend it too much, even if I drop and I extend, I'm not getting the penetration I need to make that ooh. Anyone that's been punched solidly on or under the heart knows it's a horrible kind of moment in time where the beats stop happening for a couple of seconds. It's like ooh. It's a horrible, nasty feeling. And I find you can only really get that from people if it's a little bit shorter range on the cross and that the fist is in this horizontal format. So from here, you're getting used to the penetration. So get used to what bare knuckle feels like on your own body, on your partner's body. You know, take the time to feel what grinding these knuckle orientated shots in feels like. Yep. Another one, which I quite like, is aiming to the spleen. Now, if you're thinking probably about a fist in a bit under the left pectoral of the opponent, so you're looking about here, the spleen is often overlooked because everybody loves the liver shot. Everybody loves the liver shot. But being hit in the spleen feels like a bag of shit and often is available to do as you circle away from a power right hand. So as we talked about, the drop shot to the heart, whoom, just underneath, feels quite nice. Whoom, whoom. If I'm going for the spleen, there's a couple of ways I like to do it. One of the first ones is to do a corkscrew style shot or a Slavic shot where the thumb goes down. So if I drop down, bam, I end up with my fist like this. Bang! This Slavic drop shot here, or corkscrew shot. Bang! And I find that gives me a slightly longer tool because the fist, like a vertical fist, you know, it's got more length to it than the weapons of a horizontal fist. I find that this is more forgiving for me for nailing part of the spleen. So again, moving around, drop at the knee, fire this cross in with the thumb going down. Whomp! Yeah. Whomp! 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 And just for the camera, drop at the knees, wham! And make sure, wham! The knee flexes a little bit. I'm driving down and in, down and in. Wham! 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 So that's my favourite shot to the spleen. If you get hit in the spleen, you know about it. Really, really fucking hurts. Now if we look at the liver, so the liver, again, being a fist and a bit under the right pectoral, so around here, you know, maybe a little bit lower, maybe just over 2 fists or just under 2 fists here. Get a feel for it. Being hit in the liver is a piece of shit, and I've got 2 favoured liver shots. So the first favoured liver shot at range, I call the liver snatch, and it's firing out a horizontal fist hook. Not many people do this at range to the body. A lot of people only go with vertical fists to the body. I quite like this as I'm leaning or as I'm covering. So I'll fire a long looping hook, again slightly Slavic in that the thumb is down, aiming to get these knuckles in. Now if you train it like that with your bare knuckle, when you do it with a boxing glove on, you end up with the solid part of your fist jamming into the target. So thinking with that knuckle discipline, bang, from here, when you've got a glove on, means that when you do it ungloved, you're getting the right hard lump of bone to hit that chunk of organ. So again, for me, from a liver snatch, I'll either fade back, you know, I'll slip to the side or bob, I'll do something, I'll typically move, and as I travail or move, I fire in that long bang shot here. Bang! Often, because the shoulder's high, bang! His counter right hand will go over the top or bounce over the shoulder. So often this is quite a good shot to set you up for something up top. So again, dropping low, bang! Long body snatching, liver hook. Hump! 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 Firing that straight in here. Now, another option is when you're at close. And what I quite like to do with this, as opposed to doing a liver shot that's square on, that's our turn here, as opposed to doing a liver shot which is square on, bang, uppercut or hook, I like to turn my body round to get under that right arm and fire it in here. So I'll take a short step, so as opposed to just popping it in, I like to use the head, roll this way so I end up facing the flank, and then smash it in. The reason I like it this way is that it moves me to block his power right hand. So I've ended up, I've here, nuzzled in, I've used my head, I've taken a pivoting step around to get to the side of him, applying that shoulder pressure, and then I can belabor with this right hand here in an uppercut format, shovel hook format. I don't really like the traditional body hook from here. I like the shovel hook or the uppercut. And you can nail that liver there, nice and simple. You can, of course, take it straight out from the front, bang, from here. But I do find that you can often eat a right hand as you do it. If you don't quite get it flush, you can eat that right hand. Whereas with a little pivot, and end up here, you can get on your way, and it's hard for him to deliver anything with his left hand or his right hand. So you smother his work, you access his liver with your strongest possible shot. So with my long left, I like that travailing shot. From here, I like to pivot, apply that pressure, and land in the shovel hooks or the uppercuts that way round. So again, nice and simple. And then finally, for a solar plexus shot. So I'll move Bob back round for ease of viewing. So obviously you've got under the heart, you've got the spleen, you've got the liver, the solar plexus right in the middle. Now I like this from a bare knuckle technique called a contracted arm blow. So it's like an uppercut in a sense, but it does not travel up, it drives in. So all the mass, it's like an upside down cross in a way, bang! It doesn't leave my body very far, it just fires straight in. So it doesn't curve up, the energy doesn't go in and out, all the mass, all the energy goes in, from here. So you fire in the hip, you fire in the feet, you fire in the shoulder, from here. I prefer this to the uppercut, to the solar plexus, because I find sometimes with the rolling nature of the uppercut, sometimes you can bounce off and out as opposed to penetrating in to that solar plexus. So for me, the contracted arm blow of early bare knuckle boxing adds the penetration you need to get to that spot. If you're talking illegally here and you end up in the grapple, if you see lots of vintage older pugilism, early boxing fouls, kidney hammers were very common. So striking onto the kidney with either the bottom of the fist in a hammer format or with the forearm. Typically that comes with head control, so you move them with the head or with the forearm. Either way, those kidney shots are horribly debilitating. So take the time if you've got a bob, if you've got a rash guard with organs on it, if you've got a partner that's very forgiving and patient, get used to the strong feel of attacking the body bare knuckle and apply some pressure into that body. Get a feel for the different reactions you get. But do take good time in focusing on spleen, under the heart, into the liver, into the solar plexus, down on the kidneys. Get a feel for that, get a feel for how it works. And often remember that you need to throw some junk up top to fall that off. So if you're thinking boxing for self-defense, you'll need to throw something up here to give you the time and space you need to hammer down low. So if you're talking about bare knuckle boxing for the street, you still might fire an open-handed shot up here in lieu of a jab. Bam! Just get his attention up high as you start to throw in something. So you may pop this up top just to distract him, just to disrupt his OODA loop, to step in and smash with that contracted arm blow to the solar plexus. So you may be moving, and smash that right in. Get used to the extra penetration you get with bare knuckle and get used to targeting these areas. It's very easy if you spend a lot of time with coaches that have got a chest plate on, if they're practicing against a heavy bag or even a bob. As soon as you put the glove on, you tend to just break the world down into head, body, sides. But you can be a lot more specific. So whilst it's great to be wailing away and smash away at that body, take the extra time to nuance the difference between liver, spleen, solar plexus, kidneys. These areas, they will pay dividends, especially if you're looking to box for self-defense, or you might one day need to use your boxing for self-defense. Target priority one is always the button, always to knock him out, but don't neglect the rich array of targets here, which you can hit very easily, especially as you start to get a bit more compressed in the fight, because real fights, no one's breaking your clinch work up. You might need to box your way out of that clinch, which means that if I can hit you solidly under the heart or into the spleen, that might give me the space I need to, bam, fire in, the big guns that you might want to deploy at leisure. So again, understanding where these targets are, they get a more visceral reaction, a more bodily reaction. People tend to move, compress, collapse, fall down, take a knee. If you hit those targets correctly, they can open up for your big guns to finish the show. So if you want to be a bit of an organ hunter, get a rash guard with organs on it, mark on your bob where they're likely to be, practice it very slowly with a partner, and start to build up more specificity into your sparring. Cheers.